Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another daily chat. Let me see if I can center myself on this thing. There we go. All right, welcome. Happy Saturday, folks. I hope everyone's having a good evening. As you can see today, I am flying solo, so we'll improvise. All right, let's see what we've got going on here. By the way, I did see Nick. I was checking out the comments a few minutes ago, and I saw your post about whether the Dice Tower ever has any questions for you guys to ask you back. So I just might try that. I just might throw some questions back out and see what everybody says about them, okay? I wrote a couple of things down here, so again, we'll play it by ear. All right. All right, I'm just catching up. Give me a second here. Okay. What are we talking about here? Luck has to be down. Well, I busted 9. Sorry, 4 9s rounds, I believe. I don't know what's going on. Quacks? Oh, we're talking about Quacks. I haven't played. Tracy Tudor is asking, how do you survive Pandemic Legacy Season 2? They just lost their 3rd game in a row. It's been a long time. I haven't played it in a long time, and that's one I did not replay. I replayed the first season, but I haven't replayed the second, so I couldn't tell you. It's been too long. But we played it live, I thought. Not sure. Dead Squirrel, hello. Heather, hi. Good to see you. Right. Z, what is your favorite game that you hate to teach? Favorite game that I hate to teach? I like Ffg Galaxy. I don't like teaching that game. I think it's too... It's just, the symbology gets to people. I don't think it's that bad, but it does get to people. Favorite game that I really like and I hate to teach? There's a few games that stand out as games I like to teach. Like Carpe Diem, for example. When that first came out, I taught it a bunch at one of our Dice Tower retreats. I just kept teaching it throughout the weekend. So that's one I like to teach. And there's a few I like to teach like that. But for the most part, games I'm just like, I'm okay with teaching. And then I guess there's a few that I don't like teaching. I'm trying to think of which ones I don't like teaching. I think my answer last time was Detective. The LA, whatever that's called. That's a bear to teach because it's so bizarre. Dragonfire is really a hard one to teach. There's so much minutia in that. Yeah, there's a few that I have a hard time teaching. Neuroshima Hex is kind of a bear to teach. All right, Dead Squirrel is asking, I enjoyed your pandemic video. Thank you. Have you considered doing something similar for Arkham Horror LCG? No, I am not as... It's not the same when it comes to replayability. I just don't feel like I would be as informed at the end of the day. I also haven't played everything. But even if let's assume I stopped working and just played that game and played everything to get one video out of that. I still don't think I would be able to talk about what I should be able to talk about making a video like that with any authority. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. All right, let's see. Miss watching sports. Are you asking me? Michael, if so, no. So David says, saw your pandemic top 15, and I am wondering if you had to choose between the Cure Dice Game and Fall of Rome, which one would you get first? Which one would I get first? Well, I like Fall of Rome more. I guess that's my answer. I don't know what you mean. I suppose there's only a few specific moments in which I would say you should get this before you get that, even though I ranked them in the other order, like Season 1 and Season 2. But yeah, Fall of Rome is, I think, more fun, better. It's crunchier. It's just more interesting, I think. All right. All right. What do we got? Have you ever played Defenders of the Realm? It seems like it's a fantasy pandemic. Yeah, a long time ago I played it, and it felt like Pandemic. It was different enough, I suppose, but I think I only played it the one time, maybe twice. It's also been like 5 years at least, probably more. What are your top 3 games? I have a top 100 for that. I don't know off the top of my head. 51st State is my number one right now, though. All right, let me see about catching up. Which game do you like setting up because it has nice components? Which game do you like setting up because it has nice components or art? Or even a good insert that makes it easy to set up. Which game do I like setting up because I like the act of actually setting it up? That's a good question. It has to be something that is not too many steps, right? It has to feel fun to set up. Like Pandemic has a decent amount of steps. A game I enjoy setting up because I find it pleasant just to set up the game, huh? Interesting. Huh. Maybe Gold West is a good one for that. Gold West has a very, you sort of put together this puzzle board that makes the space you play on. You put together a boomtown area, a little area where you can, Tetris it in there. And it's fun to see it all build up. Once it's done, you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. That's a fun one. Question, please tell us the story of how the presumably friendly feud with Bonacore started. That's a Tom thing. I don't know. They're just messing around with each other. Luis, saludos desde Mexico. Saludos. I noticed in Marco on your shelf during the pandemic video. Yeah, it's back there somewhere. Where is it? I don't know. It's back there, yeah. Could you give us your thoughts on San Marcos? I've not heard you talk about it before. That's Ryan. That's because, for one thing, it's an old game. It's a pretty old game, and it's very, very out of print. So, talking about that one is, I already get a decent amount of heat for, Zee only talks about these games that you can't get anyway, which is not my fault. I don't always know when you can and cannot get a game. But that one I know you cannot get. So I would just be asking for garbage from the audience. All right. And speaking of that, I have a question for you guys right here. And the question is, what old game, much like San Marco, do you feel like you've missed out on getting into this hobby after that game came and went, and you wish you could get your hands on it? I want to know your thoughts on that. What's a game like that came and went, maybe before you were into the hobby, or maybe as you were starting to get into it, and now looking back, you're like, man, that must have been a great game, but it escaped. I want to hear your thoughts on that. All right. All right. Ever down. All right. Okay, so Louise has a good question here while I wait for you guys to answer me. Oh, I lost it. Louise, where'd you go? Okay, there it is. Thinking about getting Black Angel. How is your current, after a few months, evaluation about how easy it is to get to the table? It's not easy to get to the table. I said that when I reviewed it the first time. I just said that if you put the time in and you you got to read that rulebook again every time you play, right? Just about. But if you're good with that and you don't mind a crunchy Euro game, yeah, the game's good. It's really good. And it's a great production. Also, it's not a cheap feeling game. You're going to get your money's worth, I think. All right, let's see. What do we got? The original Yggdrasil, yeah. Arkham 2nd Edition, okay. The expansions for that, anyway. Ra, okay. Tannhäuser. Carson City, Ginkopolis, I think is coming back, Ginkopolis. Battlestar Galactica, sure, that's a big one. I did not realize that Raw was hard to get these days. See, I just don't know about this stuff. Shadows over Camelot might be coming back. Glory to Rome, Glory to Rome, yeah. That's gone. Heroescape, Nick. Okay, I guess you haven't played Heroescape, right? Star Wars Queen's Gambit. Yeah, okay. Shadows over Camelot. Thunderbirds Go. I think you would just mean the Thunderbirds game. I don't think it's called Thunderbirds Go. Okay, Heather, you're saying Battlestar Galactica, and a lot of people who played it, but wasn't into board games yet. So you've never played it. Okay. Queen's Gambit. That's crazy, man. Battlestar Galactica doesn't feel like it was that long ago. But maybe I guess it was. I guess I've been doing this a while too. Alright. Very nice. Dark Light Memento Mori. That one I don't know. Targi? Targi's around though. Yeah, Targi is in print right now. You can still get that one, and an expansion is coming out in English anyway. There's an expansion coming out that I'm very excited about. So that'll be cool. Can't wait to get my hands on it. Bruges is one that surprised me when I found out that it was hard to get. I did not know that Bruges was hard to get. It came up in some conversation we were having on the channel. So I was like, oh, really? So I looked at it, and yeah, they're going for baddie prices. One Pip Wonder is in the house. Hello. Hanging Gardens. Oh, nice. That's a neat game, Vanessa. That's one that should be in print. It's a very attractive little game that would do well, I think, Hanging Gardens. Corey got into the hobby in 2018. Okay. Okay, so Lily is saying Targi is in print and so is Thunderbirds. Okay. Let's make a bus route. Very nice. Yeah, cool. Those are good. All right. Let's see. Nick has a question for me. What animals would you choose to play your favorite multiplayer game with if they were anthropomorphic? That's possibly the weirdest question I've been asked on a Q&A so far. I want to play some social deduction game, because it has to be the kind of game where I'm gonna be interacting with the players, right? It's not gonna. I don't want to play, some Euro game where I'm not really talking to any of these critters, but some sort of social deduction game with a whole slew of different characters. So let me think. It might be like the Resistance with like a wolf, a snake, a bull, several owls, and at least one warthog. And then we're talking about the Resistance. That's the only way to play in my house. 2008 is when Battlestar Galactica came out. Okay. Whew. It's been a while. What recent game that you've played keeps popping into your thoughts? Throw that up. Boop. Okay, what recent game that I've played that keeps popping into my thoughts? Let me think of what I've played lately that I've reviewed, because that's the way it would have worked out. Keeps popping into my thoughts. I think it was the reprint for Boomtown. I was really so happy to see that game back. And now it's called Gold River. Yeah, Yeah, because I have Boomtown, the original printing of Boomtown, but it was so nice to see it come back, reworked, and not just a reprint, right? Not just, oh, they had to get new artwork because they couldn't license the old artwork anymore and then they reprint it. No, they reworked it, right? I love seeing older designs from designers I really admire and appreciate and enjoy their stuff. I love seeing their stuff come back after they've taken another look at it with 10 years more experience, right? I love that. And Boomtown / Gold River was that. Again, like I said in my video, the production quality wasn't the absolute best, but the game, I'm really glad is out. Playing Everdell with anthropomorphic animals would be very meta. Yeah, that's freaky stuff. Zebra has a question. Best Ffg game. We just did a top 10 about this. Zebra Giraffe. It's on there. And my number 2. I might even tell you my number 3 through 10. Alright, let's see. Any movies that have felt refreshing for you from what normally comes out? I know Knives Out felt that way when I watched it. Knives Out is a good one for that. I agree with that. Knives Out felt like both a modern game and a throwback. I mean, a modern movie and a throwback movie at the same time. It was really interesting. The accent that James Bond, whatever his name is, Daniel Craig was putting on, took some getting used to. That's a crazy accent, but the movie is, again, kind of, yeah, it throws you for a loop a little bit. What else has come out recently that's felt that way to me? Or that I've seen recently, I should say. Nothing's come out recently. What have I seen recently that I've really enjoyed that felt that way? It's hard to think of these things on the spot. I don't know. I think the last big thing that I was worried about feeling... Well, what I'm thinking is like the Avengers movies, the last 2, the big ones. Endgame and what was the other one right before it? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. Those 2 felt like such massive, epic undertakings that I figured, okay, they're gonna fumble it, and when they didn't, that was surprising. And then after the first one, which was great, for the second one, Endgame, they're gonna fumble it, and when they didn't, that was also very amazing to me when there were no missteps in them, I think. The original Mission Impossible, that's good stuff. Infinity War, Jesus, thank you. Okay. Zebra Giraffe is asking, what's your favorite game on the shelf behind you? The shelf directly behind me? I'd have to turn around. I don't know. One of the Legacies? Subterra I like also. Subterra... There we go. Subterra is good. Sentient is really good. I've cooled on Race a little bit. Mr. Jack I don't play very often. Alright. I got a question for you guys. Here we go. When you watch videos on YouTube, statistically, or on average, I should say, do you pick the video based on wanting content and information, or do you do it mostly based on wanting entertainment? I'm curious what that formula looks like for you. Is it 50-50? Do you normally go looking for information? You'll put up with entertainment, or quote-unquote entertainment? Alright. I have not seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet. What is in the wooden suitcase thing behind you? That is my copy of Arkham Horror LCG. That's what's in there. I keep it in one of those art cases. Alright, so Dead Squirrel says content and information 60%, entertainment 40%. Usually info, says Junior Hawk, but it depends on the content creator. Normally for information that is also entertainment, like documentaries and such. Okay, sure. Content. If it's also entertaining, it's a win, but I am first going for content. Nate says entertainment. Vanessa says mostly entertainment. Jerry, 70% entertainment, 30% information. Veli says information mostly. Okay, Lunchboss says if I want something to play in the background, entertainment. If I want to know about a specific game, it would be for info. Sure, no, I get that, but I'm asking how often you find yourself doing one versus the other. Heather says mostly entertainment, I'd say, typically looking for background noise. Okay. El Barto says, I go for entertainment and any information I will double check elsewhere. Right. Okay, I get that. Alright, William says, to binge content. Top 5 scary videos, Lovecraft audiobooks, Sherlock Holmes, old ones, all that kind of stuff. Alright. Battlecraft says, content, 3D printing, and board game info. Hoser 40K says board games / RPG content primarily. Very cool. Alright, Sluggo, so somebody's asking about the cases here. Cases off of Etsy are no longer made. I keep doing this. The case, this up here, is from Hobby Lobby. And it's a case for art, and you can get it, and you can get an insert for it from Go7 Gaming. Alright. You look them up. Yeah. Right. So you can get one of those at Hobby Lobby. I'm assuming they still make them. I don't know. You get one of those at Hobby Lobby, and then you get an insert for it from Go7 Gaming. G-O, the number 7 Gaming. And it's an insert made for that. You pull out a piece that's in it. When you buy it, you put that in there, and then you can store a bunch of cards in there, and it stores very nicely. It's great. So for Arkham LCG, I did that because the content is completely spilling out of the original box almost immediately after you start getting expansions. All right. What else have we got here? All right. All right. Corlu says, what's the coolest nickname you've come up with for yourself in a game? Gosh, I don't know. I know the one that people remember, or at least Tom likes to bring up still, is when we played Seafall. Seafall, yeah. We played that, and it's spoilers, but who cares? It's the intro. When you start that game up, Seafall, it's a legacy pirate type game. You pick a character, much like the legacy games, we'd had a few before, so you kind of went in knowing what you were going to get. So you pick a character, you give them a name, you dive right in. The game promises you that you're going to be building up this character over hours and hours, and it will become this character's tale, So I picked the coolest looking one. Everybody did that, right? You went through a bunch of cards, and you were like, oh, that's my avatar. This guy is going to be me. I'm going to be him. here we go. I gave him a cool name, whatever that was. I was invested in the guy. And after the first session, which is like an introductory like how to play session, it's meant to be a little shorter than the other ones, but that's typical for a lot of legacy games. After that first one, the game goes, okay, great. You now know more or less how to play. We're going to jump ahead like 300 years in the story, take that character, rip it up, pick another one. That's your character. Which I thought was a mind-blowingly bad idea design-wise. Basically telling every group that ever plays the game, pick your favorite 4 people from all of these and throw them in the trash, and then pick your next 4 choices. So I named that second guy Hugh Cares. And, you know, with an affected accent, it was like, who cares, is what what he meant to sound like. So I think that, I mean, we laughed about it for a while, that character being who cares. Alright, I'm getting a greeting from the future. It's Sunday afternoon here in New Zealand. That's amazing. Hello, welcome. Da-da-da. Okay, Vanessa says that she liked my Nick Fury character in Legacy of Dragonhold. I honestly did not remember that. But yeah, I was playing some cat creature, right? I like it. And I gave him an eye patch, that's right. I remember that. uh, all right. What do we got? Bonzoso says, any campaigns you were in the middle of before social distancing? Had played 3 sessions each of Near and Far and Journeys in Middle-earth. Hope I can remember what happened. Yeah, no, thankfully I don't think I was. I don't think I was in the middle of any big campaign. Certainly none that we hadn't already sort of put down, you know, set by the wayside. So that wasn't a problem. But speaking of that, I have a question here for you guys that this reminds me of. And the question is very simple, and you can answer as simply as you want. The question is, Kickstarter. What's the attraction to you specifically? Why? And I'm assuming, and this is, of course, you don't have to answer if you're not into Kickstarter. I'm not interested in necessarily hearing how you're going to say, oh, I don't care for Kickstarter, or I never go to Kickstarter. Fine. Those that do, though, why? What's the attraction? And it's obviously games, I assume. That's great, but there are games available elsewhere, so why go there and get a game that you're not going to get for a long time? My question is, I guess ultimately, if games that are currently out got that kind of coverage, like if a game that's out right now, they built a page for, there was artwork all over it, and there was explanation of how the game works, there was a how to play video, but it was available right now, then why Kickstarter? Alright, let's see. What do we got? It's addictive. Fear of missing out, fear of missing out, fear of missing out. I hate exclusives, but honestly, they're the hook that usually gets me. Okay, how we do it is saying not getting the Kickstarter exclusives that can change the way the game feels. So again, FOMO, fear of missing out. Corlu says, just did my second Kickstarter for my country. It's 1/3 or more cheaper to order from Kickstarter instead of waiting for retail, and then also still have bonus content. Then that's great. That just makes sense. Then I think that's a good idea. Okay, Olson says missing out on stuff. Mm-hmm. Da, 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 da. Exclusive stuff and stretch goals. The Curious Box says, Z, did you enjoy your ginginha? I'm assuming I'm saying that right. From Portugal. If it came from Portugal, and I think I got it from you at a convention, it's been a while. I'm sure I did enjoy it. I don't even know what it is, but I enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to look this up now. Ginginha. Ooh, I remember this now. This was tasty stuff. Yes, I liked it. It's very good. All right, let's see. Sometimes it's a cheaper entry price or deluxe components. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. I don't know. I oftentimes find that it depends on the kind of game, right? That's the thing. But I wonder if the pros and the cons there, if people are happy with that balance, you know? I mean, the idea of, I know some of these big games, right? Like you guys are talking about the fear of missing out. Yeah, some of those games are like $120 gets you a pallet of plastic. That's a good price, assuming you want that pallet of plastic, right? That's true. If you buy that stuff later on piecemeal, you are paying more. There's no denying that. But some games that look just like other regular published games, you are getting it with the hope that it's good, not necessarily missing out on anything, right? And you are not necessarily getting it cheaper. You can't guarantee that the game might come out and drop price, right? I guess I'm just curious why, what people like about it. That's all. Olsen says contributing to the indie or smaller guys. Yeah, but that's really been diminished, right? I mean, the Kickstarters that do well have nothing to do with necessarily the small indie companies. A few people doing something together. All right, William is asking about the Spiel des Jahres this year, good or bad? I thought it was. I haven't played most of them. There's that, right? It's fine. It's one of those years in which there is no front. It's not a Wingspan year. It's not a Dominion year. It's one of those years in which they picked some games. I'm sure they're fine. There's nothing particularly exciting on there. Another Knizia, a tile laying game that's basically abstract, but it's from a big name, and some other game that I honestly cannot remember. Oh, that Pictures game, which is whatever. And I'm talking about just the main Spiel des Jahres, not the Kinder or the Kenner. Yeah, it's okay. Not a whiz bang kind of year, I guess, for me. All right, let's see. Yeah, at Essen. That's what I thought, man. Yeah, I thought I got it at Essen. Okay, Olson. So passion projects from not from major publishers that you're into. That's cool. Okay, One Pip Wonder. That's a good question. I want to ask you: when people teach pandemic in a poor way, that can, what can people? I'm guessing you're asking what can people do to teach it better without quarterbacking. Okay, so if I'm sitting at the table and if I'm sitting at the table, someone else is teaching game X, whatever it may be, and they're doing something wrong, they're teaching something badly, what can I do if I think I have a good input to help make that experience better for everybody without quarterbacking? Then what I do is I ask a question, like a leading question. That's how I do it, okay? So instead of them going, so on your turn, you're going to get That's too obvious. Then you turn, you're gonna get 5 actions. It's just, you just say no, it's 4. It says it right there. That's dumb. But like if they say something that's not quite right, then you can try to find the correct answer with them as opposed to tell them, actually, you do this, then you do that. You know, you can just get there by saying, so on your turn, am I supposed to flip these cards and then I decide where I'm going to go? Or, I mean, I can go there first and then flip them? Even though I know the answer possibly, and they'll go, yeah, actually, yeah, you can do either one. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, okay, great. Thanks, teach. Right, that's the environment I'm trying to set up. Not for me, obviously. I knew the answer in that situation. I don't want to make them feel like they're doing a crappy job. I want to make sure everybody else is now just learn something new. I hope that helps. All right. Corlu says, Z, would you create a mini musical with Paula to debut at the Dice Tower BGG Virtual Con? Unlikely, but you never say never, but probably never. All right, what do we got? We got to add Matthew Jude to that musical. That's right, he's the musical man. All right. Excalibur's Zone just showed up. May I ask, in the wooden artist box on your upper right, is that Arkham Horror the card game? Indeed it is. We talked about it a little bit ago, hence why I'm assuming you just showed up. Bell curve versus randomization. 3d6 or d20? Depends what you want. Yeah, I mean, one has a bell curve, the other one is random, 120 random, yeah. I like, it depends on the game. I guess I like the bell curve a little bit more. You know, you can have the high highs, the low lows, but they're less likely. But chucking a d20 is definitely fun, too. Okay, Vanessa saying, Z, what is your favorite traditional Cuban dish? Probably Cuban style picadillo, which is like ground beef. I like that a lot. I've been trying to make it myself, in fact. All right. All right, let's play a game, guys. I'm going to play 20 questions with you. Here we go. I got a game picked out. I got my chips right here. I'm going to be taking questions from you guys to try to figure out the game. We're going to ignore this side of it. If you've never watched Breakfast, you're going to be a little lost. So just play along. You'll figure it out. So there's 20 of these. You have 20 shots to get the game that I've got sitting right over here. I'm going to roll a spinner. I'm going to roll a spinner and give you 3 questions on which I'm going to give you a random letter from the title of the game. Let me go ahead and find the game. And then you can play along with me. All right. Here we go. This is what the spinner looks like. Where are we? There we go. Okay, that's a spinner with all the numbers 1 through 20. Okay, you're going to get one on 13. You're going to get one on 5. and you're going to get one on 3. All right. So here we go. I'm going to set these up. 1, 2, 3 at the end of that stack. You get one at the end of 5. So 2 more, you're going to get one. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You're going to get one. And then you've got until the end of that stack to win. Here we go. Questions. The question I saw pop up a couple of times was, is it a co-op? Where is it a co-op game? No. We're burning that out. And then I saw one that was it released after 2014? And the answer is yes on that. So yes, after 2014, not a co-op. I'm not going to answer the is it out of print question because I don't know. Is it smaller than a Ticket to Ride box? Yes, it is smaller than a Ticket to Ride box. That is your third question. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to a different wheel, which has the game written out on it. And I'm going to spin for a letter. Here we go. M. The letter is M. There you go. What else have we got? All right. Is it in the BGG Top 300? No. That's gone. I already answered about the 2014 thing, so I'm not going to do that. All right. Is it a roll and write? No. These are actually lining up with the 5s. It's happened twice now. It's really weird. The letter is S. You have an M so far. You have an S so far. Here we go. Does it have meeples? Is asking Brent. Yes, it has meeples. That's one down. You guys have burned through 6 of the 20 so far. What do we know currently? You know an M and an S after 2014. You know it's not in the top 300. Does the game have dice? Does it use dice? Okay, that's a good question. No, no dice. That's one down. You guys are through 5, 6, 7 so far. So not a co-op also, yeah. Smaller than Ticket to Ride, yeah. The Curious Box is asking for 2 players only. Yes, it is for 2 players only. Good job. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've got 12 questions remaining. Shua Aldrich is asking, is there more than one word in the title? Yes, there's more than one word in the title. And then the next one after that, is it a card game? Yes, I would call it a card game, Halo. So that's another one down. You guys are halfway through all of your tokens there. Somebody already asked about the roll and write thing. I said no, by the way. I already answered the one-word title thing. Is it primarily a card game? Yes, I said that. Right. I already said it was a 2-player game. Right. I'm just looking through what's going on here. Da-da-da. That's a good one. Is it based in the past? I'm going to say, is it seemingly based in the past, just to open up our gates a little bit, okay? Is it seemingly set in a future, some future? Is it seemingly set in a past, some past, whatever? I'm going to go with yes. Okay, that's another one down. And that was 11. Does it have a board, is asking Amy Francesca. Yes, it has a board. So that's another one gone. Small World is too big. Indeed it is. That's the size of Ticket to Ride, so that's not going to be it. How we do it, is it worker placement? There is worker placement. Yes, correct. And that's another one. That's 13, which gets you guys your last letter. I already said, William, it was not a one-word title. That is an H, everybody. An H. All right. All right. That's a good question, Amy. Yet another one. Is it in the Cosmos line of two-player games? It is not in the Cosmos line of two-player games. You guys are at 14 burnt questions. Right. And we have... Da-da-da-da-da. All right, we have two people who have said it already. You guys are good. You guys are good. So Brent K said it, and the Curious Box have already said it. You guys are indeed right. It is Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft. You guys are sharp. Very, very sharp. So you guys are my honorary winners. Your prize, congrats. That's what you get. But very well done. You guys are. It's too hard. It's too hard to beat you. I only gave you 3 letters. It's impossible. That's how you do it, folks. Anybody else who got that one, you were correct as well. The answer is Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft. Yep, Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft. I'll show you here. Is a 2-player game. It's a card game mostly, in which you're going to be collecting sets of cards and then playing those down in front of you to collect victory points. So the game has meeples. Somebody asked a little earlier about meeples, but then I answered a question about worker placement. So it's going to have a little board, a little fold-out board there. It's going to have cards, obviously, and it's going to have meeples there in 2 colors for the 2 players. It's got a very nice little board that kind of looks like a book. You just open this up. And then you've got cards in there. You've got the meeples in the 2 colors and these little clue tokens. And the board has that. That's just spots. It has spots for characters on here. And as you are taking turns back and forth, you put your worker on a card and you do whatever the action is on that card. As the game goes on, you open up new actions for worker placement. So, you play 7 rounds. So during the first round, it's just these 3 are always in, and then 2 more here. During the second round, you open up whatever's here, third, fourth. So that's it. It's also cool because if both players go to the same character, let's say, we both go to this one on day 3, then on the next day, it's flipped face down. That character's exhausted. So you can't go there. If you both go there, that person's out for a round. It's cool stuff. But yeah, that's a neat one. Check it out if you like simple 2-player card games with a little set collection. All right. Okay, Nick is saying, Z, for this game, you should have 5 special abilities that you can play secretly when you give specific answers to throw us and Tom, throw you guys off. Yeah, that's... Maybe. I don't actually... you're meant to win, okay? I'm not trying to actually trip people up. Hence why, when I play with Tom, if things really aren't going his way, he's not hitting the right poker chips when he reveals them, stuff like that, I'll make little adjustments as I go. Give him an extra guess at the end, stuff like that. Be more vocal about why I'm saying yes or no to something. So yeah, you guys are, I expect you to win. I want you to win. Excalibur Zone, thanks for hanging out. Stay safe. Have a good one. All right. Any other questions, everybody? We got another, 9 minutes or so. right. Oh. Amy's asking, are you backing Devil Merchants 3? I am backing Devil Merchants 3. I have 1 and 2. I bought the big box thing at Essen last year. And so I figured, yeah, I'm backing it. I want to... That's the completionist in me for sure, because I already had 1, I had 2, I bought that box. It fits everything from 1 and 2 really nicely in there. And in a stroke of genius, they included dividers for Devil Merchants 3 right in the box. So it's almost like, you have to get it. Otherwise, there's all these unused dividers in there. So I'm backing it. Pod 6 Network says, Z, are you going to Spiel if it's held? Well, they already canceled. So we know it's not being held. All right. Speedos. Nisidios. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Z, what game do you recommend I teach kids aged 10 to 14 years old who have never experienced any sort of games in South Africa? I am probably not the best person to answer that, I'll be honest with you. It's the kind of question you likely want to ask on BGG. You can go to our forum on BGG, the Dice Tower forum, and ask there. I don't have kids, so I'm not someone who's good at answering questions related to what's a good game to teach kids. I have no idea. You could ask Tom, right? That's a good question maybe for him. But for me, I don't know. I would just always err on the side of caution and teach something simpler than you think it is. You know, sometimes I see on Board Game Geek recommendations, somebody jumps in and they're like, hey, I taught my cousin Ticket to Ride. What else should I teach him? And there's invariably somebody who shows up and they're like, Agricola. It's like, no, you're insane. You should not teach that person Agricola. You should teach that person something simpler. So err on the side of, simpler, I would say. David is asking, soft serve ice cream or frozen yogurt? Man, why'd you gotta put me in a spot like that? How am I supposed to pick between soft serve and frozen yogurt? I'll tell you, right now, frozen yogurt sounds good. Star Wars Indiana is asking, favorite card in any game, and that is easy, my friend. Entropy Beast in Cosmic Encounter. This is a card that shows up in the game in one of the variants you can play with. And if Entropy Beast shows up, you either finish the game within a few rounds, or everybody loses as Entropy Beast consumes all of the planets. And I wanted to propose that there be a universal Entropy Beast for every game. I want to carry one in my pocket. And as I'm playing some game that doesn't know when to finish, I can just be like, oh, guess what, everybody? Bam! Entropy Beast. Wrap it up. But nobody seems to want to go along with my my Entropy Beast idea. I might kickstart it. An Entropy Beast for any game you want. Nick is asking, where's the funniest place a gaming fan recognized you in public? That, Nick, would be at a local pharmacy that I went to. This is a story I think I've told somewhere, but I went to a local pharmacy. I was waiting in line, and there was a guy behind the counter who walked by a couple of times, and every time he walked by, he was like clearly staring at me, and I was like, what's going on? So when I finally got up to the counter, I was dealing with someone else, and I asked her for something. She went away, and then the guy came back again and was like, are you Zee Garcia? And I was like, oh, yes, hi. It was really strange. I was so not expecting it. So, yeah, it was just weird. Lunch Boss is saying, Z, I heard Subterra's getting a Volcano edition. Do you know anything about it? I think you mean Subterra 2. I don't think Subterra is being changed. Where's Subterra? There. I don't think Subterra is necessarily being changed. And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe it is. But I know that they kickstarted a Subterra 2, which was a different game. And yeah, that had a volcano theme. El Barto. What's your favorite pandemic to play solo? Probably Fall of Rome. It's got the best solo mode. It actually has a solo mode. What party game makes you laugh the most? Is asking David. Probably the one that's made me laugh the most is Balderdash. My copy is Beyond Balderdash. It's around here somewhere. Yeah, it's probably the one that I've hanging out with friends, college friends, just sort of visiting people, and that game would come out and we would rarely finish. I've fallen out of chairs laughing playing Beyond Balderdash. It's that kind of ridiculous. And it's not the game, of course, it's the fact that my friends are hilarious and they just slay me, right? I was just laughing so much, but yeah, that's the one. So hilarious. It's a great game. It's a great facilitator for laughter. Froyo. Darth Ed is asking, do they have Rita's Italian Ice in Florida? I don't know. Now I got to look that up. Rita's Italian Ice. Oh, it's so delicious. Apparently we have one that's pretty far away in Hialeah. Yeah, I guess so, but that's not close. That's like an hour away. At least. Well, that's a good idea, Nick. A universal entropy beast would be great as a coin. 3D printed coin or like a pressed coin. That's a good idea. I like that. I like that. Nicholas is saying, "Hey Z, you got me interested in Pandemic, so I ended up getting it and all the expansions. Very cool. Very cool." All right, everybody. I think I'm gonna wrap it up, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for answering my questions. Thanks for playing along with 20 questions the game. And I'm going to see y'all next week. Make sure you're still tuning in for all these daily chats happening. We've got plenty of stuff still coming. So thank you all. Thank you all for sticking with us and being a part of what we do. You are the best crowd. Thank you so much. All right, folks. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe. Be good to one another. I am outie. Good night.